All right, so at this stage, what I did was I already saved some of our pictures. I just found some plain images which had like a t-shirt, or it had a mug or a hat on there, and I saved those. I'm going to go ahead into that folder, and I'm going to go ahead and just begin with the t-shirt. So I'm going to open that image. So I've got that image, and that image is going to open. Make sure that you find something that's a good color for your starting image. This one happens to be a black one. I have a few other colors planned for the other. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place our first logo. So this again is for my advanced learners, those of you who are ready for this. I'm going to go ahead and place by putting and going to that particular file. I'm going to grab mine from the P drive, but you're going to need to grab yours from your own H drive. Okay, so I'm going to go to the folder, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a particular logo. Okay, so when that logo comes in this case, it's going to ask me, do you want to open as a smart object? I'm going to just go ahead and say okay. So as I say okay, you see I already have that in there. Now, if some of you have a background, you may want to delete your background layer, like if you dragged a blue rectangle in the background, so you give it a background color, you may want to get rid of that because it's kind of nice that it has no background. You don't have anything to delete here. So I'm going to hold the Shift key. Holding the Shift key prevents us from doing something like that where we're stretching it, making it look kind of funky. So you want to hold that Shift key. Let me put it back where it was. You want to hold that Shift key. Let me go back here. All right, there we go. Close enough. So that it moves and it stretches proportionate to that particular size. Okay, I'm going to let go of Shift. I'm going to put it in place, and then I'm going to decide when I'm going to want to see this completed. Okay, so in this case, I could say that's it. That's exactly what I'm expecting to see. This is a straight on t-shirt. He's facing us, so we're good to go with that one. Now, when I go ahead and open something that has, let me go back. Here we go. Something that has a little bit of a change. It's not straightforward like this one that's kind of turned off to the side. I can still go ahead and do my place embedded. And I'm going to go ahead back. Unfortunately, I probably should have saved that one to the same file as here. It would have made it a lot easier, but you know, we're flexible. So I'm going to go ahead and get that particular file back in here. Say okay, and there's my file. I can go ahead and kind of move it in place. Now this is the front of the hat. However, because of perspective says this stuff should be smaller over here because that part is going away from us. So I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to press the Enter key to accept that. Now you'll see this is a smart object. I'm going to want to right click right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and rasterize the layer. That makes it editable. I've rasterized, that's gone away. I can now edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and image, and there's a few, edit, and then there's a few different ways to transform it. So here, I'm going to actually just perspective transform it. There's also a warp, which I will show. Perspective transform says if I grab one of these corners, you see how it's moving it? So that's doing it in perspective. So if I'm ending up with a problem though, see how that one is giving me the right perspective? Because I want it to shrink smaller on that side. Okay? So I've got that. I can even come around to the outside here in just a minute and rotate it just a little bit. Press the Enter key. And then I'm going to go into Free Transform, Edit, Free Transform, or Control T. And I'm going to just rotate it just slightly, because I want it to be, oh, wrong one, where these center points are right around the center point of that hat. Okay, so that could be an option. Now, if you still need to really wrap something around there, let's go ahead and open up the last one. In this case, it's going to be, here we go again, it's going to be a mug. Now put that mug on there. In this case, it wraps in 2 different directions, so I'm going to need to be prepared for that. So I'm going to go ahead and place, go through the whole roll again. Sorry. Next time I'll make sure it's in the right file. All right, almost there. Okay, I'm going to hold that shift key. Again, that makes sure it doesn't get stretched out kind of strangely. I'm going to put that on the mug, press the enter key, and then your design, you may want to go into transform and warp. Oh, what did I forget to do? It's not an option because I forgot to rasterize that layer. So again, once it's placed, press the enter key. On this little sort of a slightly lighter gray right on the edge, you can go ahead and right click and rasterize layer. I can now go back there, edit, transform, and warp. In this case, I can grab, it might not be as impactful on this round design. Well, it's actually pretty good. Sort of wrap that around the side. See how I make that side go up? I'm going to do the same over here. Just kind of give it its mirror. Wrap that side up. I want it to look, let me pull that guy back in a little bit. I want it to look as if it mimics this contour of the mug. So it does that all the way down. Beautiful. I can go ahead and press enter. And then I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to go ahead into free transform, which is that control T, and just make it a slight bit skinnier. And at that stage, each of these would be saved under your name. I'd like to invite you to think about a sweatshirt, a sweater, a backpack, some other kind of apparel. If you wanted to get a pair of sweatpants and put your logo down the side of the leg, those sorts of things. Just obviously keep it appropriate, keep it as a good product, and save them all, put them into a folder. Rename that folder with your name, because that folder is what I want you then to save to the P drive when it comes time for turn-in. Happy, happy Vector.